It's showtime, it's raucous, and it will rock and roll. It's Down against Cork, their first ever meeting in an All-Ireland football, and only their second in championship. Down with that 100% record. David Coldrick from Meath, today's match official, his second final. He reffed in 07 when Kerry took on Cork. His assistants today, Geroid O'Connor, Morris Deegan. Sil Doyle is the fourth official, and it's Tony Kearney and John Coldrick, brother of the referees, at one end of the umpires, James Matthews and Stephen O'Hare at the other. It is ball in hand, and Michael Shields picking up Benny Coulter. I can tell you, just off camera, he awaits the blow. David Coldrick, the final instructions. Cork in a third final in 4 years. Down in their first in 16 years. Cork have won 6, Down have won 5. Noel O'Leary is picking up Martin Clark. We're picking up the action. Callum Keane gets a hand to it. It's picked up though and given forward by Aidan Walsh. Walsh's ball well won by the full forward, who's Donagh O'Connor. Ball outside to the midfielder, who should have taken the score. Alan O'Connor, 25-year-old, runs in Collins in West Cork. And Peter, with the barely 15 seconds on the clock, that should have been.
Well, Down will be alarmed at how come their defence was ripped wide apart here by Alan O'Connor. And a feature of Cork's game up to now has been their poor finishing. They get into some great positions, and especially their two midfielders. And Conor Coonan will be disappointed that they didn't get Cork off to a great start there.
Brendan McVeigh to take the kick out. Straight down the midfield it goes, as it was in the game against Kildare. No messing about, but it's Cork who wrestled possession in midfield. So much been made of Cork's physicality. That's given in by Paddy Kazan. Kazan's ball dropping down dangerously. Falls for the full forward. There's a great goal opportunity on here to come early. McVeigh save must be off the line once more. My goodness, how did Kieran Sheehan miss? How did Down survive? He had 2 bites at it, and once more Brendan McVeigh to the rescue. But Peter, we'll get a look at it shortly, and I'll bring you back. And meantime, Cork come yet again. They are tearing down asunder, but there's nothing on the score sheet. Neat little flick off. This surely must be the first score of the game. Still in position. How many steps has he taken? He has been fouled. It was Paul Kelly who was fouled, Peter, and rocky start to this All-Ireland final for Down. This really should have been.
And the Down defence is in disarray, Mark, and 2 bites at the cherry. The first one probably should have kept it on the deck. He had a second opportunity, could easily have caught the ball and placed it anywhere you want, but Down have got out of jail.
Over the top it sails. The first score of the 2010 All-Ireland final goes to Daniel Goulding, the 24-year-old from Errol. But we're looking at Brendan McVeigh, Peter, and this was some save.
Brilliant save. Many times have seen him doing this year, especially against Kerry, and they managed to get out of it. But one point, that the physical strength and power of Cork in the opening stages is very evident.
And let's also pay credit to Dan McCartan, who got back on the line to clear up what was that second attempt on goal. McVeigh's kick out again, directed down the middle. Again, the superiority of Cork in the air. That's Aidan Walsh this time. Walsh again with that good quick ball. We were told they might get high ball in, direct high ball, but as things stand, Cork would appear to have the measure of Down, albeit very early. They're getting away from Kernan now. This is Paul Kerrigan. Kerrigan possessed. Kevin McKernan looks for Martin Clark. Martin Clark with O'Leary alongside him, and Clark was definitely hauled to the ground. Wants to take it quickly. This is Callum King. Callum King sees that Danny Hughes is in space. Hughes to dwell on it ever so slightly. Aidan Walsh, they want to get the ball forward quickly. Benny Coulter's made a decoy run. First touch for the Down captain. It's one of those novel outings, and as far as they've never met in an All-Ireland final, and it's a day when both captains don't start. Ambrose Rogers on the bench as Dan Hughes comes looking for it, and Graham Canty also on the bench. That's Benny Coulter. That's wildly ambitious, and it's also wide. We've played 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Cork 1 point, Down no score. Peter, albeit it was wide, James McCartan wearing a worried look, but it will settle them slightly just to have gotten on the ball.
Yeah, very much so, but they need to start winning possession around the middle. The first 3 kickouts have all gone the way of Cork. Likewise, up front, the first three balls kicked into Donagh O'Connor. He's won every one of them and has been very instrumental in the Cork forward line. But the studio is right. We see Noel O'Leary is going man-to-man on Marty Clark here.
Well, one in the middle. First one they won from Peter Fitzpatrick, the young man who's in replacing Ambrose Rogers. Fitzpatrick will leave it for Poland to take. Poland looks for a bit of movement inside and gets that from their full forward, John Clark. John Clark, who's yet to score in Croke Park this year. This is his 4th outing. Gives it back to his brother Martin. Martin will see that Poland's in a little bit of space. Poland's footing himself down. There was a very, very heavy shower or two earlier in the day here. and the conditions underfoot remain easy. That said, the turf never really interferes with thoroughbreds. This is Poland. Again, it's Benny Coulter who's the intended target, being picked up by Michael Shields, who's deputising as Cork captain today. Shields, of course, who captained him in the league final, gives it down to McComiskey, back to Martin Clark, and outside of him, first touch really for Dan Hughes in the last few seconds, and Daniel Hughes becomes the first down man to score in an All-Ireland final since Tony Hadden scored their first point in 1960, and Dan Hughes, 50 years on, becomes the first man to score in the 2010 final from Down. A good score it was, Peter.
Yeah, badly needed too, and by one of their better players this year, Danny Hughes, and let's hope he continues that trend for the rest of the game.
So 1 point apiece, 5 minutes on the clock. All-Ireland final live on BBC Northern Ireland. Bernard Brogan, arguably a shoe-in for Player of the Year, depending just on what happens here. Back in studio alongside Martin McHugh. 81771 is the text number should you wish to fire a question or two. Fired up at the moment is Kieran Sheehan. Sheehan's gotten away from that down defence again. Cross Kim's Kernan to close him down quickly, and down on the ball in there is Damien Rafferty. And Peter, there are warning signs, alarming warning signs in this down defence.
That's right, we've mentioned Donnacha O'Connor already, but Kieran Sheehan has got himself into two very good positions. He's marking, or Damien Rafferty's on him. Again, we've got a height advantage. Sheehan must be at least a foot bigger than him, so no doubt Cork are going to try and expose that.
Brendan McVeigh's kick out, and it's good running off the ball from Daniel Hughes. It's like as if some of those crazy geneticists has got a blueprint on Dan Hughes and put together the pit bull and the Palomino pony. He's just that kind of guy, but it's Cork who are coming with it, and well done to dispossess Pad Kelly there. So this is Mark Poland. Mark Poland now confronted by Pearson. He gives it back inside, gets support into the midfielder Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick has been well tackled, but illegally tackled. David Coldrick will blow the whistle. Martin Clark again. Noel O'Leary right on his tail, changes the routine of play to Benny Coulter. Coulter's another diagonal toward McComiskey. McComiskey, arguably the quickest man on the field, and still he goes, oh, great little dummy inside. This is a very acute angle. McComiskey, it's gone wide. It's just gone wide. But Peter, he did right to take on the defender. Just the execution was always going to be difficult given the degree of the angle.
That's what McComiskey's good at. Great, top at fast feet, the way he jinked his way through there. But probably should have played the ball out, or even tried to take it in further and fist it over the bar. But Down are starting to come to grips with the mark, and signs are looking positive.
Alan Quirk, an Army officer, 33 years of age now, from Finn Valley, takes that kick out. Kick out will be confidently won by Callum King. Down beginning to get a little bit of control in that midfield sector. This is Benny Coulter. Michael Shields showing him just a little bit too much room, and Coulter has put it wide again. Peter, I'll make the point to you, when he got the goal in the semi-final, the square ball goal, if you like, he was playing in and around the edge of the square. He's playing quite deep and withdrawn. Yeah,
they're playing with two-man full forward line with McComiskey and John Clark up front. And Marty is actually not dropping that deep. He's playing like in an orthodox centre half forward, but I would much prefer to see Benny playing closer to goal. That's where he's most dangerous, and I think we're asking too much of him to kick it over from that position. So 8 minutes on the clock. It's Down 1 point, it's Cork 1 point, and in truth it could be Cork 2-1. But for the brilliance of Brendan McVeigh and the following up of Dan McCartan, this time the kick out away underneath us on the far side of the Cusick stand. It's now in the arms of the deputising captain Shields. Shields gives a good ball into the corner, and they come quickly for it. Dan Corden, who has deputised at full-back over the last 3 or 4 outings, does well to win it. Spread intelligently out now into the path of Conor Garvey. Garvey sees himself dispossessed by Paddy Kelly. Kelly now in turn is robbed, and away they come in the shape of Declan Rooney. Forced to go back to Damien Rafferty. And Down slowly playing themselves into it. Oh, they had to come for it. This time it's McComiskey. Benny Coulter made a great run off his right shoulder, and Benny Coulter is frustrated, Peter, and I know that he took the point, and he took the point well in the lead, but Benny Coulter was
was the go-to man.
Martin, you're dead right. The goal chance was on here, and Down mightn't get too many more of these opportunities. Fast hand, quick fist pass, and it didn't quite show it in that camera shot, but Benny was straight through the middle, and the goal opportunity is going to begging.
Different angle we needed, but take our word for it, Benny Coulter was scything his way through in the overlap and wanted that ball. As it stands, it's second point of the day in the first from McComiskey. It's down 2 points. It's Cork 1 point. We're entering the 10th minute. This is Miskler, the late replacement for Canty, who gives it back outside, and it's given in by Paddy Kelly, and Kelly's ball will drift harmlessly, aimlessly wide, and it's the first real sign of waywardness from Cork, Peter.
Yeah, and it's the Down defence maybe slowly but surely they're coming to grips with their Cork counterparts, but they badly needed to do that. They got off to a very nervous start, but as I say, the main thing from a Down point of view is they're starting to win ball around midfield. Fitzpatrick and Callum King are coming into it, so as I say, things are starting to look up again. So
a shot of Conor Coonahan, the Cork manager, alongside Terry O'Neill sitting in the stands. They like to do that for the first half. Martin Clark also likes to feed it off to Danny Hughes. Danny Hughes likes to get on the score sheet. Hughes, and this time it's wide. Peter, it was another of those ones. He was 25-30 metres out, but he had options both left and right.
Yeah, and he's made the fatal error of putting his head down, coming out after missing it, and let his man win easy possession, John Miskler.
Yeah, it was the first of the short kickouts. This is Owen Cadigan. Cadigan, of course, better known as a hurling fullback, gives it to O'Leary. O'Leary had the door closed by Rafferty, gives it back now outside to Paul Kerrigan. Paul Kerrigan, way off target and way wide. Played in last year's final. That's 3 wides Cork, 4 wides Down. Kerrigan, of course, his dad Jimmy played in the winning team in 1989. And Peter, it is quite remarkable to think that they've played in 4. This is their 5th final since 1990. And Cork, they haven't won one. They've lost 16 finals and won 6. It's a remarkably poor record for a team of their stature.
Yeah, that's right. They've lost the last few, and not very encouraging from them. They're finishing once again. Paul Kerrigan, who started lined out at corner forward, has moved out to wing half, and Kevin McKiernan is picking him up.
Brandy McVeigh. And it's completely unchallenged for it was Alan O'Connor in the middle. Now this is in the arms of Paul Kerrigan. McKiernan is after him, and Kerrigan has a fair old turn of pace and still goes, and I think it was Kevin McKiernan who was penalised, and they've won a rather easy one. Peter Foyle, yes?
Well, I'm not too sure if as a defender I wouldn't like that given again. The fact that he was clawing at him in the manner that he was maybe didn't look great, but I don't think it was a free kick, and it presents Daniel Goulding now with it should be an easy opportunity. Dan
Goulding, 24-year-old from Arrow. He's a student at Cork IT, and that's his second of the day. That's 7 goals and 78 points he's scored in championship football, and if my math is correct, he's now in 99, so just 1 shy of the 100. No mean tally. Peter Canavan, the man on my right, and co-commentary, well surpassed that. I seem to recall, Peter, you landed 5 in the All-Ireland final of 2003, despite the fact that the ankle was sore. Now then, Down with Martin Clark attempting to get onto it. Benny Coulter, and the whistle had sounded. I actually thought Benny touched it on the ground, but the ball, no, that will be retaken because Noel O'Leary was too close to the ball, and as a result he has been penalised, and this is within Martin Clark's range, Peter, and would be an opportunity given his dead centre in front of the post. Here's what happened. He just didn't get away quickly enough.
Referee absolutely right. Down had possession there, the free, they're entitled to hit it quickly if they so wish. So good decision by the referee. It hasn't gone down too well with Cork supporters here, and it has now presented Marty Clark. You know, he's still 42 metres out, but would still think that he's more than capable of kicking this over the bar.
So Martin Clark, goal and 27 points to his name. Make that goal and 28 points to his name. His club in Australia, Collingwood, are actually through to the grand final. But this is the reason he come home, and he's brought Attila the Hun with him.